Hey, hello, good evening. Today it's the 11th of January 2023. I'm starting with a new vlog called No Reveries. Vlog number one, here it goes. A new year and a new series, trying to move on, talking about my life mostly, about my diary, but also about philosophical questions, about reincarnation and the afterlife. In my previous vlogs, I talked about my illness mostly, about being chronic psychotic and heavy schizophrenic. I wrote some books about my experiences on Amazon, which you can find under my own name, about the things I've encountered. It helped me to get back on track again, with stories, poetry, artwork, and other, to give insights. I want to continue with these stories, but also moving in a new direction. A while ago, with the art route of Volendam in the Netherlands, at the end of October 2022, I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's a culture coordinator of our community from Edam, Volendam in the Netherlands, and does a lot for artists in music, but also of the arts. So does his wife, by the way. He talked to many artists to see if there could be a platform for artists to have conversations with each other, but also to have an own art space. 2 weeks ago, I got an email about this subject to see if people are still interested in that. I had some thoughts about it. I wasn't planning to do so because I have an own art space at home. I sent an email to him with some questions I have. Because I'm chronic psychotic and heavy schizophrenic, I needed some alone time to get back on track again. But I must say, I'm very enthusiastic about it and would love to participate in this breeding ground to talk with other people, but also to have an own art space. It is for 8 months at first, and if it will go well, we might find another place to stay in afterwards. For me, this is a good first step to get back on track again. A day routine, sort of. That means I have to be there a couple of times a week to draw and paint. Some of the questions I had was about the cost they ask for this art space, on what times I can go there. Do I get my own key, for instance, and how big they are. I can always try it out. If it won't go well, I can always quit. The last time I did something like this was when being in an art academy in Amsterdam. Back then, it didn't went well. I lost it big time. I couldn't focus well on my art, but also difficulties with other people. It was really a harsh time, actually. Since then, it was in 2007 and 2008, I drew and painted only at home. I have to see how it will go and if I can get my own art space. The less people, the better, I guess. My mental health does get better, and I think the time has come to try it out. It is something I really love doing. I hope I will get an art space, then I can paint big time. I only have to go there, even if it's for 3 to 4 days a week, then I'm satisfied. To get a daily routine again. Also, I want to paint big, large canvases to paint on. Probably need to cover the floor with some plastic so it won't get messy, since I use acrylic paint. This is where I've studied for. I was admitted several times at an art academy in Utrecht and Amsterdam. I couldn't finish it because of my illness. I still stand strong by painting often. In the recent years, I drew a lot with pastel, and since 2021, I started again with acrylics, which I really love using at the moment. I don't need a degree, I only need to paint. Even if I didn't paint for a while, I'm always getting behind the canvas again. I need new goals and try to achieve many new paintings about my favorite subject, the afterlife. I was lost within my mind, psychotic around the clock. I was 24/7. When being inside of it, you're lost without knowing about it. I've learned to see the difference. I always could paint, no matter what shit I was in, but I was really mentally lost in every aspect of life, in all its glory. The next day, I got a reply back about the art space. The cost will be €100 for 20 square meters. For me, that's a lot of money. I also need some money for materials, of course. So that will be around 250 to €300 each month. Not entirely sure about it yet, but it is very interesting. I do need to get multiple times a week then. I need to go there multiple times a week then. Otherwise, it isn't worth it. I will get an own key and art space. I also could share the space with another artist, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. It is temporary for at least 8 months. Then they will probably tear the building down afterwards. I will have some thoughts about it. Like I said, I also could paint at home. That saves me money. I got an email from Last.fm, a site with the music I've listened to since 2009. My top 15 bands of last year were the next bands, starting from number 15 to number 1. Prince, The Rolling Stones, Daft Punk, Billy Joel, Kanye West, Soundgarden, The Smashing Pumpkins, Jimi Hendrix, Lana Del Rey, First Aid Kit, Coldplay, The Beatles, The Doors, Silverchair, and Yusuf, also known as Cat Stevens. Many other artists pass by as well. I think it's a nice bunch of artists. I listen to a lot of music actually. I watch some movies about NDE, near death experiences, on YouTube. I think these are nice movies about people, their experiences about the afterlife. The other channel is called Heaven Awaits. People awake and see and know it's real. I'm talking about these subjects for many years already, within my vlogs, but also in the arts. I'm not crazy, maybe a little bit, trying to dig up certain things within my own life about the subject big time. It's the truth I can't deny. Gives me extra strength to do so, and I would love to continue on that road. In between, I have some things to do in the next weeks. I need to take my blood samples for my medicine level, going to the dentist, seeing my diabetic specialist, and visiting my therapist. The weekend arrived. It's a Saturday today. The other evening, I went out with a good friend of mine to Amsterdam. We do that once a week, and I'm always enjoying myself. First, a friend of mine had a bite somewhere. I already had dinner. Afterwards, we drove to the shisha lounge in the west part of town. We got a nice spot while smoking our shisha with a cup of tea or coffee. In between, some nice conversations. We also talked about the art space I might get. I am very enthusiastic about it. First, I will have a look at the space I might get after the weekend. It brings opportunities, and I can try out new things, maybe even bigger artworks, or at least 200 by 100 centimeters. Pieces of that size I already made in 2022. After a good 1.5 hours, we drove back to Volendam again. I watched some Pawn Stars before going to bed. I really like this series a lot. I put on some music to start the day with. Vampire Weekend's first album from 2008, and Lieke Lee's youth novels from around the same time. Nice vibes there. The next day, I prepared myself to go out to see my possible new art space that will be available in an upcoming month for at least 6 to 8 months. I brought some artwork with me because that friend of mine wanted to buy some pieces from me. So I took 4 pen drawings from 2003 with me and 2 smaller paintings from 20 by 20 centimeters I made more recently. He and his wife will make a wall with small artworks from friends. I thought that was a nice. I cycled to the building where I had to wait 5 minutes or so. I was a bit early, just in time for a smoke. Then my friend arrived. We started talking immediately. Were nice conversations. He showed me around and we talked about the possibilities. There are in total 10 artists who want to get an art space at the moment. There are 2 large-sized buildings next to each other, a former gym. I spotted a nice wall I might want to get used. I might want to get in the future. Then I showed him the artwork, and to my surprise, he bought all 4 of the pen drawings. He will have some thoughts about the other 2 pieces as well. That was great. I even gave him 2 self-published books to him. Curious what he thinks of them. About the things we just talked about. My second and third book, called Traveling Weighty and A Pharaoh's Guiding. This is the first time, since a very long time, that I sold some artwork of mine. Only one, I guess, in the last 17 years. I thought it was a fair price, and don't complain. 50% for the frames, and 50% for the drawing itself. Then some thoughts about the mind, soul, and the afterlife. Here it goes. I watched some movies from NDE, near-death experiences, again. Really interesting stuff. Things I'm talking about in all of my vlogs. I've been down and out for a long time, trying to explain myself as a psychotic and schizophrenic person, but also looking to the afterlife with that via reincarnation. Seeing that I'm right with these things really helps me big time. It's not that I'm cured, but it does help to see reality senses again in a different perspective than psychosis. I was lost in a psychosis for a long, long time. What's that like? There are many experiences, and I'm hoping that other people might benefit from my stories. It doesn't have to be one-on-one all the time, but I do think people can recognize certain things in aspects of my stories. How to think, how to feel. When are you lost? What is it that makes you you? Then again, what's the bigger picture where you live in? From fantasy to reality. Just losing yourself time and time all over again. You need to find yourself all over again. Learning everything all over again. Mental instability sucks big time. Hallucinating, for instance. How does that feel like? I had it all the time. Losing everything from the inner core until your mindset. Zeitgeist again. I talked about that many times. Don't lose yourself within time. It is indeed the other way around. You forgot your connection with the afterlife, with old friends and family members from past lives. You forget. Eventually you will stay in the afterlife. All of your thoughts and feelings are in contemplation with the higher good of universal love, moving from life to life, from body to body, losing yourself within the boundaries of thought, a reflection on society as well. I'm definitely not there yet. Taking rest does help to reset the entire system. It is strange to notice. I think these weird interactions won't go away that easily. Remembering the afterlife does help to follow a new map in which you can let yourself go. That is really amazing. An invisible map that will lock upon your thoughts and feelings, not losing control in a way, from life to life. Nothing to worry about, no bad feelings. You're inside universal love of each sphere of the afterlife, but also in every aspect of your own life, mixing with each other, from the bad interactions with your mind towards love and understanding. Not lost. It makes sense in my opinion. Although I'm wrestling with the psychotic mind, I do get back on track again. The difference I had from some years ago is really massive. I'm continuing on the new road with these invisible maps and feelings, making them my own. I know it's there, 100%. I can't deny it anymore. The afterlife is real. When looking at multiple lives, you can learn to see the differences and grow higher eventually. Even the scary dark parts will be bathing in light again. Nonsense is nonsense. Don't be scared to think about these weird and fake designs of the mind. I have that all the time. Eventually, it's of the past and not real. A scary thought, encounter, connecting with your inner core, learning to be you, also in other aspects of life, in society again, the love of God, but in the right vision about it, reincarnation. Damn, what a beautiful understanding of universal knowledge. We'll grow higher eventually with all the people of the planet, thinking about the same things. We can learn from each other. It is a transition between different lives growing higher in the spheres of light. There are 7 dark spheres and 7 light spheres. The first 3 light spheres are still bound to the earth. That is where we'll stay until the end of our reincarnation cycle. From there on, we'll move higher and higher with our twin soul in the afterlife. The afterlife is really beautiful in everything. It's enormous, and it is even higher than your own vision about it. Some can go there via an NDE, for instance. Some even can go there when sleeping in the night, transcending as a spirit in the afterlife. It isn't a failure. What is your vision about it? You know it's true. Don't project bad visions on them. You have been there many times before. Many lives have gone and many will come in the future. Don't commit suicide, for instance. That won't do you good. Why would you? Learning to live in 2 worlds, maybe even in many other worlds as well. What is your goal for now? Learning to remember again that reincarnation is real. Wow, I like this story. It's a good first vlog. Like I said, I will call it No Reveries, No Daydreams in a way. And we'll see where it will go to. I would say have a really great week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.